suspicion is in my color. The misrepresentation of the red influences the black. The blue melts with the red, creating a colony in my heart.
a sec. Hold on a sec. Yeah, welcome to another stream of Believe Your Own Eyes. I mean, to me, it means something. I do have a song that I wrote called "Believe Your Own Eyes," and it will be the theme song. It will supersede the one that Mitty wrote, or it would be a conjunction. It'd just be another thing, and it's in my brain, but it's it's another thing putting it to on paper or whatever. But eventually it's going to be a thing, and it's brilliant. I mean, it's amazing, and you guys are going to love it. But I haven't gone around to recording it yet. But the premise here is that you can believe your own eyes. You know, as I've said before, I mean, you can look in the sky and not have to believe that the celestial bodies are multiple billions of miles away or millions of miles away, hundreds of thousands. You know, and it went about the moon or whatever. I believe that we've been deceived about what we're observing in the heavens and about history. You know, modern science tells us that we can't believe our own eyes because math and science has proven otherwise. But I contend that we actually can believe our own eyes and our senses. So that's where I stand on it. And so tonight I really want to focus on the reason that we can't. The reasons that we deny some of these things that science tells us is true. Like the sun being 93 million miles away, or like the curvature, or like the horizon is the curvature of the earth. I mean, that's pretty easily debunked, but I'd really like to hear everyone's point of view on that might come on the panel tonight. And welcome to the stream. I am your host, Helio Skeptic. Some people call me Dennis. That's my name. And we have Ron Sheckelson, who's my co-host. Mitty HC is always here, holding down the chat, the live stream chat. And here's something else I want to mention. I was watching Horror Sheet Show last night or this morning, and he spent all night on You Now. And oh shit, that reminds me, I forgot to freaking start my You Now stream. I want to start I want us to really start flat smacking people on You Now while this stream's going on, because I can stream on You Now. I'm gonna do it right now while we're doing this, because I can just it'll start as soon as I do this. It'll start. Prepare broadcast. And yeah, I mean, the YouNow link for this stream is in the description. I mean, it's the same. It's younow.com/HelioSkeptic. It's in there. So if you guys want to go and talk to some newbies or whatever that might come across the stream in the chat, please do that, because it's fun to talk to people that that aren't quite ready for this, but at the same time they have fun. Just like, no, that shit ain't true. But anyway, the first time I did it, I stopped the stream and I went back and looked at the and it's like, you had 138 views. It's like, what? 138 views the first freaking night that we did this. But it hasn't been as active since then. But I've got some plans for You Now in the future. So yeah, I'd encourage everyone, if you're on You Now, go ahead and fan my page that's in the description, so that you can start flat smacking some of those kids in there, or people that come across through that stream. And it was really fun. I was having fun with Horry this morning, going over there. He's going over there and talking to You Now people, and we were going into the chats. It was really fun. So other than that, let me think. Yeah, man. I mean, it's easy to talk about flat Earth. What do you got going on, Ron? What's on your mind, bro?
I was just sending. I was back and forth. I'm sending out invites to get people to come here. A lot of times, like if you post it in the general chat, people don't see it. They're doing other stuff. So I'm just like DMing it to everybody. Hey guys, the show is on. Blah blah blah. Because some of the regulars didn't show up. I know everyone's got their own thing, but yeah, I was on a live stream today talking about flat Earth, trying to get because the one guy. Do you know who Grindall is? This channel called Grindall. I think maybe 61 or something like that. Or so there's Grindall and this number. He's friends with Joe, the Fullerton informer. Well, Joe, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I don't want to butcher it, but it sounds it sounds like embryo, like a baby, like an embryano or something. I don't want to butcher his name, but yeah, he's a flat earther and they're friends. They were on each other's stream, and I was trying to flat smack him. So I called into his show and I was on there for a minute, and he let me speak. I think
Man, you
I
need
was,
to get OBS so you can call in like and fucking record that shit.
we need to get that here, yeah, so we can have call-ins.
No, I'm talking about
it,
you need to get it so when you call in, you can record it while you're calling.
Yeah, probably
like
should.
A video.
I'm just we could go get that segment. I think it's still there.
Okay,
like you
cool.
just cut the video.
Yeah, send me a link. Send me a link. I'll get the segment.
Yeah, we can find that section. I hope you left the chat. See, I went back and I was reading the chat afterwards, and a lot of the chat was like against it. You know what I mean? Like always.
Well, of course.
You're not going to win friends being a flat earther. You're never the most popular guy. You're always like the strange.
Well, maybe, you know what I mean? Well, but I mean, I appreciate you putting yourself out there, because you get banned often for that kind of stuff. So that's cool.
Yeah, but it's okay. It's all worth it, because even if I only win 1% or 0.5%, we're still making progress. It is a very difficult task, but it's getting easier because people have been exposed to it for the last 3 years. And some of these bigger people are talking about it, like Owen Benjamin talking about it. That helps. There's a guy, Red Pill Philosophy. He's really taking a lot of heat. We should go help him out in his comment section. Give him some thumbs up.
Well, and
give him
then
some
you
support.
have an upcoming talk with the Right Media, and he's got almost 50,000 subscribers.
Yeah, he wants to do a live stream, and yeah, if we do it on like a platform like Discord, I could show him all the memes, and it's much easier.
I doubt he's going to join Discord. Why don't you just call into his show, and then beforehand, if you can get a hold of him, see if it'd be okay to go ahead and simulcast it on my channel.
No, he's going to get Hangouts. I think he's going to have Google Hangouts. So we're going to do it on there, or we're going to do it on like Discord. I think he is going to.
If he's going to do it live, I can just pull it up here and simulcast it. I mean, just make sure it's okay with him if I can simulcast it on our channel.
Yeah, that would be good.
On my channel. Yeah, we'll just do a simulcast.
These are like, I would say his audience is like intermediate red pilled. He's very informed on a lot of stuff, like the Federal Reserve and the corruption in government. I'm not sure where he is. I know he knows 9/11 didn't go down exactly the way we were told, but I'm not sure which philosophy he, you know what I mean, which version of 9/11 he's, promoting. But I know he doesn't believe the official narrative.
Right.
So, and most of his audience.
Okay. That's okay. I mean, but at least he's giving you the time of day. I mean, I think it's a good idea to talk to him, and I saw you in his chat, and he's like, yes, I definitely want to talk to you about flat Earth, and we're going to take time to do that. So when he does
because it's
do that, let's freaking see if he can simulcast, so we can simulcast it.
I think he would, yeah.
And because, even if he doesn't, then just make sure that I can mirror it. I'll take that section out where you talk to him, and I put it up on my channel. So all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
I don't.
Either way, if I can't do it live, because I'm not always here right in front of the computer, but yeah, it'd be great. Man, dude seemed like a really cool guy.
Yeah, he is a nice guy. If we could get that intermediate audience, they're not quite there yet. Even like Owen Benjamin, he's not quite there. He's probably like purple pilled, maybe even pink. Maybe, he's just not quite red pilled yet.
I mean,
Just
he's from
push it.
Hollywood, so it's kind of. I mean, I'm not to say that I don't think he's being honest, and a lot of people are just like, oh yeah, he's just like putting his heart out there. But I mean, dude, everybody's got their fucking guard up, you know. I mean, so I'm not totally convinced that Owen Benjamin is 100% genuine, and as far as flat Earth goes, I mean, when he started talking about it, he came out with that. It was like, I can't be a flat earther. I can't be, I can't be a flat Earth person. He hasn't talked about it since then, and I don't blame him, but I don't think it's going to happen. I at this point I don't think it's actually going to
No.
happen.
If
So
if he thought he was taking flack for questioning the moon landing like a 50-year-old stale conspiracy that people shot a million holes, if he thought he was taking flack, just imagine the flat Earth. There's a whole nother level. It's like a
yeah, I mean,
thousand times,
and that's okay. That's okay,
and I could see why he's
dude.
like, "Wow,
Dude, I was just
this is
like, he's live right now, and I was looking at it right before we came live, and I was like, dude, he's got almost 4,000 people. No. Let's see. Well, I can pull it back up. It was
he's got
like
a
almost
lot,
four
dude.
thousand people, but he only has members only chat now, and
Yeah, because
even if
he's
it's a
milking the
1,000 people
audience.
members only chat, that's $5 each member. That's
$5,000 a month just from
five
that.
grand
Yeah,
a
plus he's
month
getting
just from the people.
chats.
Yeah,
Right. We're not
so it's
doing it
just
for the
like,
money.
well, it's not. Well, he probably is.
What?
Even much as he might not say whatever. I mean, I would probably consider,
Dude, he's making a
something like
living
that.
off
But
that. He's doing well.
well,
He's
yeah,
doing
yeah,
very
he's
well.
doing well. I mean, more power to him. I mean, he it seems like he exited Hollywood. And he's talking a lot of shit about it, and he's exposing a lot of things about what happened with him in Hollywood. So, more power to him, and I don't blame him for not touching flat Earth. I really don't.
You could do well by doing good. By doing good work, you can do well financially by revealing this. We're not in it for the money. We're just in it for the truth. And actually, it cost us a lot of money. It cost me a lot of money and lost opportunity. But I know that there's no future if we don't get this out and we don't put an end to this madness. There's no future for any of us. You know what I mean? Like the world is doomed if we can't turn this around. But I feel hopeful. I don't feel doomed. I
Yeah,
feel like
yeah,
we got
I mean, dude, all the people that like doomsday prophecies and all that stuff. But as bad as everything looks, and it's really not that way. I mean, it is. I mean, it can be for some people. And it is kind. I mean, I'm kind of like I'm paycheck to paycheck. Just like not like everyone else is, but I am anyway. I mean, I barely make it paycheck to paycheck, but I also I still I still am optimistic about the future because of what's going on through a lot of these streams where we're connecting with each other, and it's like when when you are researching a lot of these things, these ideas, about flat Earth or what's going on in the media, or the lies about history and all that. I mean, you could get depressed. I mean, it kind of depends on your personality, but the only thing that keeps me going is that I've met a lot of people here on the internet that I never. I mean, dude, I was alone for years, by myself, nobody to talk to, and
I
I
hear you,
finally
brother.
found a lot of
I hear.
people that I could actually talk to about these things, and I finally met them, and it's like, well, let's combine together and just go out there, just like I'm doing now. I mean, I'm not the best orator of these things, but I'm putting myself out there the best way that I can, and I hope people appreciate it, and I'm trying to give a platform for anyone to speak their mind, and then I met you, Ron, through the 24/7 Discord server, and it's been, and then I was like, man, Ron's the guy, man. I need to get him on there with me. I mean, I wanted to partner with you so we could do what we're doing right now. Was that freaking Earl that jumped in?
I don't know.
Yeah, it
Hey,
was
man,
me.
welcome, Earl, man.
What's up, Earl? Oh,
I'm
Helio.
not liking using push to talk
Well, turn it off. You don't have to use push to talk in here.
because the other day I couldn't.
I don't have it set where you have to use push to talk. What? You don't have to use push to talk, bro.
Yeah, Helio, I just wanted to say you did come a long way just in like the last few years because I was watching that video that you sent me of that conversation you had with Red's Rhetoric.
Yeah, it was
And,
such a noob, right?
You were, and I'm sorry to say, I know you.
No,
and I know
dude.
you now. So I'm waiting for like the modern Helio to jump in and be like, bro, this,
Dude,
this,
I
and
would
that.
tear
But,
his
like,
ass up, but I have no
Yeah.
desire to talk to this some bitch anymore.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's
no,
just
I
like
understand.
it's not even worth it.
But it's like you didn't have all those arguments. You didn't even have like you didn't even speak as well as you did now. So just in like the last few years, you could see how you've come a long way. And that's inspiring for anyone who wants to go out there and do what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, and anyone who you want to share that video with people and they can make fun of me, that'd be fine. I love that shit. I love when people make fun of me and call me a dumbass, because I'm
Well,
not a
that's not why I
dumbass.
brought it.
I know, but that's true though. I just don't. I really revel in people thinking I'm a dumbass. It's fun. Especially the trolls. I really think they're. Oh shit! I
Well-
still got that same meme up. Hold on.
Well, you know
I
what?
got more
Maybe
memes.
Maybe Reds thought you were a dumbass.
Well,
that
I
day.
was actually, man. I really wasn't I wasn't prepared. So I was just like, I just came into his. He had a live hangout with like all his Globey friends one night, and then I just said something in the chat, and then they all started going, "Get your ass in here!" And I'd never used Hangouts before, and then I went in there, and he deleted this video from his channel, where I went in there, and they were all just like, "What the fuck you think?" The way they, they were all just like hanging out together, and then and they just all started calling, and then they all just attacked me, And but he deleted that video, and he's like, "All right, let's set up a one-on-one," and then we did that like a couple days later, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I see how it's going now." And I was like, I'm never going back over there again like that. But it was fun. I still had a lot of fun. But
You would whoop his ass now. So yeah, that's the funny
Who's
part.
that?
Red's Rhetoric.
Oh, Red. Yeah, that guy. I never.
You never listened
I
to
never,
the first
never
time I
watched
ever
it.
my debut on YouTube was with Red's Rhetoric. It was a one-on-one talk with Red's Rhetoric.
I didn't even know who he was. I heard people say it, but I was into flat Earth. I'm not into like losers that try to disprove it.
Well, I mean, it's not a. See, I mean, it's like I mean, as much as I like Nathan Oakley's channel, shout out to Nathan Oakley. It's like, God, the globe is dead, man. It's been dead. It's just wallowing in its misery now, and all these guys, the reason that these big freaking shield channels are coming up, like, and they're getting thousands of subscribers all of a sudden. It's just because they're fucking scared, man. There's nothing to the globe. Once you really understand that the globe is impossible, it's not worth anybody's time. I mean, look at this. The exact science. Sun's distance from Earth. Copernicus said it's 3,000 miles. Oh, well, Tycho Brahe said, well, no, it's 13, quote. And Kepler, 13 million miles. Oh, well, Newton said probably about 28 million miles. Well, the second idea was 54 million miles. I don't know who Martin is, and Inca or whatever. All these other guys. Okay, now we finally figured out the right figure. You know what they did is their calculations weren't working with the as they adjusted to the see, they're putting the sun at the center, and they're trying to figure out how this could work with the mathematical calculations of Einsteinian gravity or Newtonian gravity. And this is why these numbers changed exponentially over time, as they were the retrograde motion of the planets, how they could make it work in this model. This is how they came up with this idea. This is how they came up with the distances to the sun and to the from the distance to the sun to the earth and the elliptical orbit and the elliptical orbit of the other planets and the retrograde motion. This is something that already existed. They just threw a bunch of numbers at it to make it work around a sphere. It's obviously not a sphere. And so they can go suck it, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I was talking about that. The curvature rate, 66.6 feet at 10 miles. The tilt, 66.6 degrees. Orbital velocity around the sun, 66,600 miles per hour. That's just like too many things to be a coincidence. That was one of the major things that opened my eyes. I'm like, no effing way. And then the United Nations logo, flat Earth map. I'm like, no effing way. It's like they're putting it right in our face. You know what I mean? And that's their style, man. They do it as a mockery and they hide the truth in plain sight. That's exactly what they're doing. It's right in your face, but it's hidden. Nobody believes it. There must be some kind of spell.
No, everybody believes it, but they just believe it, but they don't know it's true because it's not true. Earth is obviously and observably flat, just like the name of the show. I mean, it's just it's a flat plane. I mean, you can use your senses and detect the realm around you. You have a consciousness. You are obviously created, in one way or the other. I mean, you think this shit came about? You're a speck of stardust that just developed out of consciousness one day over multiple billions of years. I mean, that's always been a retarded concept to me. I mean, I've never believed that. So I'm that's my point of view. I mean, you can believe what you want to believe. It's not like I haven't done my research on it, but that's for everyone else to believe in. We can go through the details of it here with many other people's opinion. And I think we have some good people on the panel here tonight that can give their testimonies, to that effect. And yeah, we have a lot of good people on here. I mean, what do you think, Ron? I mean, is there, as far as was there a point in your life, Ron, where you thought that evolution and star balls everywhere? Now, star balls everywhere, I thought was that's what they told me Earth was. Balls spinning in space and everything. That was something that I thought was true, but I was always, according to the Bible, the Earth is geocentric. So I thought the Earth was first, and then we were a special creation in the universe. But obviously that's not true. I mean, where did you come from on that?
Well, I was like everyone else. I was brainwashed by the propaganda. I was a big fan of outer space movies like Star Wars.
I still
and
am.
I had the Lego sets. When I was just a kid, I had every Lego set to do with like outer space, and I built these things, and I thought it was real. I'm like, man, I wanted to be like them. I wanted to go to outer space. Like every little boy wants to be an astronaut or a fireman, and I was no exception. I'm like, wow, because everyone wants to fly. When you're little, you want to be able to fly or float. And the weightlessness, like the thing of weightlessness is like, it just seems fun. You know what I mean? Like, wow, I'd like to be like a bird or be like an astronaut just floating. And I think that's part of the appeal of it. And, the excitement. But when you pop that bubble and realize it's all fake, that's a rough moment, when it's just like a child. When you go back to finding out Santa Claus isn't real, it's like, why did you trick me? You feel like really, I remember feeling betrayed. I'm like, why did you lie to me?
For me, it was the Easter Bunny.
Well, either way, it's still lying to your children. It's like, I don't get it. I don't, like, if I had any children, I wouldn't lie to them. I would never teach them the Easter Bunny or Santa Claus. And some people say, well, you're not any fun. Well, why would you want to lie? That's the thing. Why lie to them? They're eventually going to find out. Maybe they thought they could perpetrate this lie forever, but there's so many people finding out, they have to resort to like these draconian measures like censorship, like where I was doing searches and nothing was showing up. Like in the search results, I'm like, damn, they are hiding this. It's very difficult to find anything. Luckily, I already had these bookmarked. Like all my favorite flat Earth videos, I had them bookmarked. And I'm subscribed to these channels, like all the legit ones. But there's so many new people coming in that are like fake flat earthers and debunkers, and they're taking off. I'm sure their stuff is monetized and it's not hidden. It's going to be promoted, not censored. Yeah, that was another thing too. Like I was not religious. I wasn't like an atheist or whatever. I believed in a God, but I wasn't like 100% sure. I'm like, well, but now I can understand the complexity of everything and understand that there is definitely a creator behind all this. Whether we could debate who this creator is, none of us really know for sure. None of us really know. We're not privy to that information, but it definitely was created, intelligently designed, and it humbles you when you look at it. You're like, this is humbling. Not only did he create all this, but he created you and every plant you look at, every star in the sky, every blade of grass, every cell, down to that, every grain of sand, every molecule of water, all created by him. It's like, that does humble you.
Yeah, I've always thought it would be ridiculous to consider otherwise, that that you could have a conscious mind and that plants and animals could exist this way. I mean, well, even before I did a lot of psychedelics, we were talking about that the other night, but yeah, I mean, way before that, there were times when I was a young man, when I was coming into my teenage years, where I thought that maybe I was living in a simulation. I was like, is this real? But I think that's a result of like my natural human instinct bucking against the programming that I was receiving. I remember walking around school thinking, this isn't real. Like, this isn't real life. It was just something innate in me saying, there's something wrong here. I couldn't put my finger on it, but I was just like, I thought it was fake, it was just like, am I, I thought I was in a simulation back then, and there was no such thing as like, maybe we're in a computer simulation. When this was early, I mean, I was 14 years old, 13 years old.
Yeah,
thinking,
I was
I could
around that time too, thinking about that. So but I still believe that we are in a simulation. It works for me. It feels
well. Essentially, it is. Essentially, it is though, because everything is electricity and it's all consciousness. So essentially, you are in a simulation, but you still have your own individual personality, and your soul is yours. So there's nothing wrong with that. But what I think I was feeling is the programming was going against my natural consciousness, and that's why I was recognizing it. Not everybody really gets that, and a lot of people figure it out later, and I didn't figure the entire thing out, and I still haven't. But I was very young when I started to figure out, man, there's something wrong with this. Like when I went to high school, but when I was in high school, I was just like, there's something fucking wrong with this shit, man. This is not right.
But so, it's fake because it looks so real.
Because it feels so real.
I was just going to say on sim theory, the thing is, even if it is or isn't, doesn't matter because we're in it. So it's our reality either way.
That's what I say about that. For me, it really does. It wouldn't bother me if we are a round Earth or a square Earth or a flat Earth because I'm just here. There's nothing I can do about it. There's no way I can change it, So I might as well just go with it.
But it is real because you can feel it. You know what I mean? It's just like you can feel when you hurt. You can
It
feel.
wouldn't matter to me.
You can feel the emotions, everything. It's all the same thing. So it is real. So even if it's a simulation, it's still real. You know what I mean?
Right.
Right.
So there's no reason to consider that it's a computer program, because even if it is, it's still real. I've felt every pain, every emotion my entire life. So it's not like it's not real. You know.
Yeah, it just doesn't matter to pursue whether it is or isn't, and people argue about it. It just doesn't, it's a waste of time.
Right.
It is. I agree.
Right, and if you do buy into it, it's almost like an excuse to become more nihilistic because nothing matters.
Right.
It's all fake.
Right, and some people would take that as just another form of evolution because, you know, you're being in some kid's video game and they're in some kid's video game, you know, on and on. It doesn't answer any questions. You know, it just moved the goalposts forever.
Yeah, that's
and
even
Right.
worse than atheism at that point. I mean, it's just like atheists at least have, you know, some type of ideals.
I dropped the
It's
video.
like if you just like, well, shit don't matter anymore because I'm in a video game. You know, that's just
Yeah.
like, fuck it. You know, that's even worse than atheism.
And then we're playing video games all day. So how does that factor in?
That the video I put in the stream, that it was by The Truth is Stranger Than Fiction channel, and he said the simulation theory is even more satanic than the globe, like to make you feel nihilistic. You know what I mean? Like your outcome of life is predetermined. You have no purpose. So we are given free will. I don't believe that every breath is preordained. You know, like everything we do. Like if I decide to do something, it's my free will. You know what I mean? Like my next move, I have free will. This wasn't preordained. That's the whole
Right.
simulation.
I can agree with that, but to a certain point. Because I believe there is something like a script, but we sort of can like go off script, like ad lib here and there a bit.
Yeah.
But I do
yeah.
believe there is a direction, and it can be altered, it can be changed. I do believe that.
I agree. I always try to. I've debated Calvinists for a long time, way too long, and about free will. And the first thing is, if we don't have free will, how are we arguing about it? But the second thing is, it's like free will is like a playground. You know, it's got fences all around it. You can do what you want inside the fences. You know, the teacher's not going to tell you what you can play or anything like that. You have a few little rules about not cutting in line and hitting people and whatnot, but the fences aren't there to restrict your free will. They're there to protect you from something outside that's dangerous that you're not equipped to handle. And so I think it gets into really philosophical stuff like middle knowledge. I don't know if you ever heard of that, and possible worlds. It's like the concept of how, you know, as a Christian, of course, I'm going to say God, you know, the creator, whatever, doesn't trigger people. Knows the future without causing it, and violating free will is a puzzle that people have been thinking about. But the way I see it is like if you set up a chess game, the set of possible moves remaining is a certain thing before you make the first move. But as soon as somebody makes the first move, the set of possible moves remaining has